Hello, welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to be doing a review and stuff on a 50mm, roughly 2 inches shell mill, face mill, whatever you want to call it, indexable one. The picture up will appear now. And what you get in the setup, I shall show you a picture of that. So what you get, just to show you as it turns up, is a box. In this case with an R8 arbor, pair of drive dogs there, and the actual mill head with a bunch of bits. So before we look at that, I have something set up in the mill here. I just want to show you. So I have in there a 10mm carbide bit. That is a 10,000th indicator, and what I'm going to show you here is that there is no run out in the mill there. So if I just tap that out slightly either way, you can see that it's engaging, but there's no actual run out on that bit. So what we're going to do now is very quickly swap the arbor in to show you the first of two problems with this end mill, well not end mill, face mill or shell mill, depending on what you want to call it. Just undo that, take that out. Oops, bugger, where'd that drop? Just down there. Shouldn't drop those. Solid carbide, very nice piece of kit, don't want to crack it. Very expensive piece of kit. It's given to me by a very kind gentleman. Right, out comes that. The rest of the collets. Right, that arbor's clean, the bore is clean. Let me just turn that round so I can see where it wants to go. Okay, so I'm going to do it like this. Okay, this thread is a bit stiffer than I'd like. It's not too much, it's not a big problem. So now, if we do the same thing, just lock that there. Start spinning that. See, there is quite a bit of deflection. I'm going to just try turning it out the other way. So that is about 1.5 hour run out, which is really quite a lot. but it is not the only problem with this particular setup. Let's pop that out of the way for the minute. That is a very nice Verdict T3 tense indicator. They're about £100 new. It cost me a couple of quid in the car boot sale. The only problem with it is it's missing its reversing lever, which is currently being replaced, or rather having a paper clip stand in for it. Right, so the problem with this, and it's a bit of a biggie, is that doesn't fit. Won't go on there. It might do at a press fit. The hole in that is 22.006 millimeters, best I can tell, and that is 22.024. So what we're going to do in a sec is just lap that a bit with some emery on a bit of stick or on a bit of flat wood. So I shall just get organised for that. What I need to do is put this in gear, or rather put the belt on, because I've got the belt off so I can spin it round, and take the dogs out. The dogs have got two Allen thingies on there. Let me just check what size they are. I think that is a... Actually, this hasn't got sizes on it, so I wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. See, has that got sizes on it somewhere? Right, so I'm going to take the dogs out. Then I am going to go and prepare it for lapping. I shall be back in a sec. Right, so now we are ready. I have a bit of 240 grit emery cloth, or emery wet and dry, on a stick, and I can now just present that along the side with it running. And there is a, which you can see, you ought to be able to see, just that there is an undercut there, so we shouldn't run into any problems there. And I'm just going to go and keep going with that until I can get that to slide on. That's all we need to do. I don't even need to measure it, although I have at the moment, as I say, it's 22 and a little bit millimeters. You need to watch out when you're doing things like this, not to get your fingers caught on anything. Just scuffed up that surface. I doubt we've taken anything off. No. Just do that a bit more. I might actually go for a heavier grit. Unfortunately, it really is too small amount to take off to use any kind of cutter on it. do, very quickly check the mic on now. It was at 0.867 something. Let me see if I can move that at all. Right, we're going to go up to a somewhat heavier grit. I've moved that possibly 0.2 of a thou. Let me get out some 60 grit. Do roughly the same thing. Almost there. Peachy. Excellent. Right. Sugar. Pick that up the wrong way round. Never mind. I'm just... Okay. In with the dogs. Just Oh, that's a problem. So I'll go in. See how easy? Yep, that comes straight off. So that is bang on perfect, that is. Right. Look at that. That is the precisely correct fit. Let me just measure that. It should. Yep, that's bang on, that is. 22 millimeters, and I make that 0.866 5 inches. Let me just work that out in millimeters. 0.8665 inches. .0091. Okay. That makes it, in theory, slightly larger than the hole I measured, but then again it's quite hard to use a ball gauge. Right. Before I pop this on, I'm going to pop the inserts in. Let's get 4 inserts out. So you have these screws, comes with the driver, the Torx, don't lose the screws. It looked like quite an aggressive cutter to me. Just as you can see, there they are. You can see that that's got quite an angle on it. And especially when you consider it's in there, so we'll find out what that's good for in a sec. We're going to go and wind it through some aluminium. And then afterwards we will wind it through some cast iron, see if it will cope with that. We're not going to be taking big cuts off because it's only a small milling machine. Before we do that, I think I'll go and get the DTI out again and we'll check to see what the if the teeth are all cutting the same height. So what brought it in was the 240 grit. So the 60 grit, I could attack that with a little bit of 240 to give that a bit of a polish, but it doesn't really need it. And it is a perfect fit at the moment. There's no rock or wobble in that. So I'm pronouncing myself very content. Ah, that's interesting. Now it's got the carbide on it, it's too heavy to stay there on its own. Right, so I think we want that one. No, I want to pick up. Still. Right, back in a sec, let me get the DTI and let's see. Right, you might be able to see the needle move, but you won't be able to see much else. So I've got this organised so that the cutter is coming over the top of the DTI. I've reversed reverse this indicator. So as I come in, I'll just read off the numbers to you. That one goes round to a maximum deflection. It's over 4 towards 3. So it's about 4, just over 4 towards 3. Then the next one comes in, hits the same spot. Let's see about the next one. That one is low. It goes to just below 4 as opposed to just between 4 and 3. This one is well out. Now that might be down to the run out. But if that's right, then it'll only cut on 2 teeth. What we're going to do now, put that out of the way. I shall go and put that somewhere much saferly in a minute. Zoom you out. Wrong way. And we are going to go and in my nice new mill vise, we are going to go and close that up because we don't want that getting dirty. Put that safely out of the way. Safely out of the way as well. Grab the handle for the vise. Come on. One bit of aluminium actually. Just see. Short spur, I guess. Clearly you're going to have to raise the head. Let me just do that. Right, now as far as I can tell, these teeth don't cut properly, rather they're not all at the same height. I think we're all good to go. I'm just going to give that a bit of a tighten up here. Right. Okay, spray that with a bit of lube. Should be using WD-40 for that, but we're not. Some notes for another project. Get that out of the way, and let's cut some aluminium. Right. What I'm just going to do, come down. Sugar. And a spanner out for it. No, I don't. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to take a 10,000th deep cut, 380 RPM. I'm not asking a huge amount, but I think the camera might there get covered in a bit of swarf. We'll see. Okay, I think we can go down quite a lot more than that. Hold on, let me just make sure I'm going the right way. Right. Deep cut. That seems to cut very, very nicely. Now, I'm just going to, while I'm here, just check how well the mill is trammed in. Hang on, oh, dirty bastard. I left that on there, and I've just emptied out my WD-40 into the into there. Right, well, there we go. That's the Daisy Bastard award for the day. Now, if this is trammed well, I shouldn't be able to get a 1.5 thou feeler gauge under there. That. No, that's a 1 thou feeler gauge. Let me just try that. That's good. We're happy with that. Let me show you that finish, and then I'm going to go the other way. And the reason why I'm going the other way, well, actually I won't go the other way because you don't need to know whether my mill's particularly well trammed or not. I do need to remember where I put the thingy though. Where on earth did I put that? I don't know why I put it over there. Actually, we're just going to have a quick look at these individually. They pretty much look like they've all dug into the aluminium, some a little bit more than others, but it's entirely possible the difference in reading was picking up a different part of the tooth. But that's what it does to aluminium. That's not sloppy at all. I quite like that. It's very nice. Let me get my little lump of cast iron out. Well, that sits just there. I'll tell you what, where did I put that parallel? And let's just try some cast iron. We are going to start with a light cut of, let me see now, let me have a think. Okay, here is a 1/6 thou cut. That's very, very nice. Right, so let's go for a... That's a 10. Right, so we're taking 20 thou off in one go. Didn't sound like it was straining itself either. Right, so let's just have a show and tell with this one. It's I quite like that mill vise. It's cheap. It's obviously not as good as a horrifically expensive one, but there is the finish that you get on cast. That's that is very acceptable. So there we go. It is not a bad tool at all. The only criticism I've got is that that arbor was too big. That was rectified obviously reasonably easily. You know, a little bit irritating, but there you go. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.